girls and boys, welcome to another one of my tutorials. First I'd like to apologise, I know it's been a while and I told some people that since I was on annual leave I'd try and get a few videos made, but I've been very busy and I've also been ill, so between the two I haven't had much time. I have however decided to dedicate today to a dance day, so you'll probably get a couple of tutorials and at least one sort of dancing video. There's going to be a very crash course of the last two hip moves we've got left. So we've got the whining and we've got the shimmy, so I've kind of saved best to last. I've decided to delete my figure eight video. It's a little crap. So I'm going to give a quick overview of the figure eight in this one before I get on to whining, because it's quite easy to learn and realistically you don't really need like a 7-minute video on it, which is what my previous one was. Okay, so the whining. Before we actually get to what it is, I'm going to give you a quick recap of a few things you can do with your hips. Okay, as we've already learned, there is the hip roll, which is the upward and outward movement of the hip with your heel up, and then you drop your heel down, pop your hip back into place, and the upward and outward movement of your other hip with your heel up. So I'm sure you guys are already professionals when it comes to the hip roll. I've had quite a few views on that video, so I'm assuming people have got that down, but just for the sake of ease and sort of refreshing things, I'll do a quick recap. So remember the heel off the floor action, but keeping our toes and the ball of the foot on the ground. So as we put our heel up, our hip comes up, then we pop the hip out and down again. We can see as we rest back on our left leg, our right leg automatically wants to come up. So then right hip up and out and down again. So all you're doing, heel up, hip up and out and down. Next heel up, hip up and out and down. So it's a continuous rolling of the hips. Okay, as I've explained, you can do it with your legs completely side by side. This is particularly used for belly dancing because you don't want that distance between your legs. It just looks less classy. Okay, so we can do this, or you can just do this. I'm guessing I haven't taught you the reverse of the hip roll, so I'll quickly give you an overview of that. It's not very easy to teach, it's just you have to remember the mechanism of your hip roll and then just come back up from it, so the opposite. So we're going down and then hip up, heel up, hip up, heel up, hip up, heel up and back. So that's that. The figure eight, the video which I'm deleting, is just tracing the figure eight with your hips. Okay, so instead of the hip up and out action, we're doing hip to the front, to the side, to the back and stationary, as in the junction in between sort of the two circles of the number 8, and then you go to the other side, hip forward, side back. So it's something like this. You can go down with it, come back up with it. Again, as with the hip roll, you can keep your legs totally side by side, but obviously you will notice that your figure eight is not going to have that depth, because even standing with our legs firmly together, that's not a natural position. So when you adapt that natural position of standing with sort of a shoulder width distance between your legs, between your feet, then you're going to get the most depth out of your figure eight. And just as a profile view, so you can see it from the side, this is with my legs side by side. Again, you can take your heel up off the floor, but make sure your the balls of your feet, as in your toes, are firmly on the ground. And this is with your legs sort of a nice comfortable distance away from each other. So you can go down, you can come back up. Okay, so that's the figure 8 because you're tracing the number 8 with your hips. So whatever you do, keep your toes on the ground and try to move your chest as little as possible. So all the emphasis is put on your hips. That goes for absolutely everything. The shimmy, the hip roll, the whining, the figure 8, anything. So that's the 2. There are another couple of things I can show you what you can do with your hips. I honestly don't have I don't know what the name for them is. I'm not very technical. I have not attended a single dance class in my life, so everything I've learned, I've just kind of learned off my own back. It's sort of like a circular motion of your hips really, so unlike the figure 8, it's not front, side, back, it's just continuous circular. I'll come a little bit closer so you can see better, so just circular. And from the side, just circular. So this is quite nice. It's quite a cool, you know, quite a nice little move you can do. Looks quite pleasant from what I can see, but then I might have issues with my sight, I don't know. But another thing you can do with this is break down the circle into parts. Okay, so instead of doing like a smooth, like round, going around the circle with your hips in a smooth manner, you can divide them into isolations. So first isolating your hip to the side, and isolating your hips to the back, isolating your hips to the other side and to the front. So it would look something like this: side, back, side, front, side, back, side, front. As you can see, this is very forced, because it takes quite a lot of pressure to actually pop your hips to the side, to the back, and for it to be noticed. You're putting quite a lot of energy into it. So this isn't something that you can use throughout every song, but there are certainly parts, I can try and find songs for you where this move would look quite nice. It's when the beat sort of gets cut off, so it can pop, 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 pop. Or you can just do like a, and from the side it's probably going to look a little bit retarded. You pop, pop, pop. Anyway, so that's pretty much it really. So the hip roll, the figure 8, the gentle circular movement of the hips, and the isolation of the hips. So between these 4 moves, you can do quite a lot. The whining adds one element to all of the moves I've just shown you. It's just opening and closing of your legs. Okay, so just pretty much this action. God, it's getting really hot in here. Let me just open my window. Okay. I hope you can hear me. Perhaps it's best I close the window. So the problem with teaching the whining is I cannot tell you when you need to open and close your legs, because it totally depends on the rhythm of the song. And you also need to find that comfort point when you can open and close your legs without breaking the move you're doing apart. So if I was doing the hip roll, I had to find a point for me when I can manage to squeeze in the opening of closing of the legs, and for the hip roll still to look like a hip roll, if that makes sense. So you don't want to kind of do part open and close and then you've stopped, and then do another part open and close and then you've stopped. You want to open and close as you're doing it, so there isn't a break in the dance move. Okay, so when it comes to the hip roll, you can do the whining sort of in 2 parts when it comes to incorporating the hip roll into it. You can either open and close both of your legs, so something like this. You can, again, it depends, depending on the beat of the song, I would do that differently. So I might do sort of just continuous, or I might do a couple, open and close ones, do a couple, open and close ones. So that's using both of my legs. And on the other hand, you can just use one of the legs. So let's say my left leg stays firmly on the ground, and then I'm just moving my right leg. So I'm doing the hip roll, and then my right leg is wriggling around, and my left one is totally still. So just to show you that again. Yeah. From the side, whining looks like this. Let me come a little bit closer so you can see. That's whining with a hip roll, and just a bit closer again. That's that. So then it was the figure eight next. Again, I can't teach you the best time to incorporate the opening and closing of your legs. You just have to find the right time for you for that particular song. Okay, so normally that move is probably best suited for the hip roll, just because, I don't know, it's quite natural and it flows nice, but you can do it for any kind of hip move really. So for the figure eight, which is this, it'd be something like this. And then for the circular movement of the hips, instead of that, you just go, just gently open and close your legs. Doesn't have to be sort of prominent in your face. Just as you can see, this is different from this. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you've got any questions, if you want certain things to be broken down, feel free to ask and I can try. Okay, but the only element that whining introduces is just this action to any hip move that you can think of. Just open and close your legs, and whatever move you're doing is going to look significantly different. What I can do is I can put on a song and I can just try and kind of, you know, chill to it. It's not going to be a dance, but I'll show you what I mean. I won't do a full song, but I'll do like a little section of it, okay? I hope you enjoyed, guys. Thank you very much for the comments and the encouragement and the feedback and questions. And to those giving hate, you should really find somebody who gives a shit.